It's your girl, One in a Million, and I'm back with another video for something different. It is February 14th, 2026, and I wanted to share with you the 5 things I learned when I moved out of state. So, I'm originally from Fairfield, California, and I moved to Georgia, and that was a huge change. It was a whole culture shock within itself. And I wanted to tell you guys the 5 things I wish I would have known sooner. So maybe I can tell you when you move to Georgia or when you move out of state, things you can learn to make your move a little bit easier. So let's go. So the 5 things I learned when moving out of state was to create a network. I wish I would have done this sooner. I would have been further in my career, probably. But because I was antisocial and I didn't want to talk, and I thought that just I would be able to get a job off my work ethic alone. I know it sounds like in a perfect world, but no, you don't get job offers. Maybe some people do, but you're not going to get a job offer just off your work ethic. You're going to have to network. You're going to have to know people. You're going to have to be pleasant. People are going to have to like being around you. You might be a personality hire for a little bit, but guess what? You show people that your skills make you an asset, right? So one thing you're going to do when you move out of state is create a network. Well, how do you create a network? You're asking. One thing you do to create a network is if you want to seek better education, go to school. Network with with fellow students. Network with your professors. Network with student organizations. Like one thing I wanted to get involved in was like what's it called, the sororities. I never really got involved in that, but that's great networking. I have a great aunt who is AKA, and they are able to create connections everywhere just because they're in a sorority, and that's awesome. So create a network. The second thing I would say you want to do is be adaptable. When you're moving out of state, there's going to be a whole bunch of changes, and you want to be able to accept these changes gracefully. You don't want to be in a different state, just turning your nose up everything because it's so different where you came from. You're going to rub people the wrong way. Take it from me. So just when you move out of state, be adaptable. If you do feel that way, keep it to yourself. Tell people who might be able to relate to you more, but don't speak it so outwardly because you're going to rub people the wrong way. And you don't want to rub people the wrong way because you just got there and you want to create good relationships. Okay. So two things so far is create a network and be adaptable. You might also, the second thing about being adaptable is you might have came from a whole different career background, right? So let's say your career is more in education, right? But you come to Atlanta and you see that the tech field and the medical field is booming, right? And maybe the education field isn't paying very well down here. I don't know. I'm just giving an example. You might want to switch to tech. Be adaptable. Be able to do that if need be. Right. The third thing I want to say that I learned, and I want you to know, probably which also goes under number one, which is I'll say is 1B. Number three, also slash three, is exchange contact information. Exchange contact information, whether you're taking someone's card, whether you're getting their number, whether you're connecting through LinkedIn or whatever social media you use. Do that. These are going to be very beneficial to you. And I'm not just saying this for the corporate world. I've been in the corporate world. I was in the corporate world for 5 years. I'm not just saying that for the corporate world. I'm saying in general, you might be an entrepreneur. These things will help you in your entrepreneur fields. Creating a network. That person might know someone who can get your business funded. That person might know someone who can get you business in a building in a high clientele area. Be adaptable. That area might not be the best for you, but it's a start. Exchange contact information. You might exchange contact information with someone else who can get you to a better area. These are just tips and advice that I hope you can choose from, that I hope you can really get some type of knowledge from. Because I didn't have anyone teaching me this when I moved down here. I had to learn this the hard way. So the fourth thing, and excuse me if I'm talking fast, I tend to do that a lot. The fourth thing that I would say you want to do moving out of state or moving to Georgia specifically is to always look your best. I know some people might not like that, but this is for women and men. When you walk out that house, always look your best. Always look your best. I don't care. I'm not saying you have to walk out the house with a full face of makeup. I'm not saying you have to walk out the house with that middle part bust down, 38-inch black. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is make sure you're working with what you got. Make sure you look your best. You don't know who you're going to see out here, especially in Atlanta. Atlanta, there's so many entrepreneurs. There's people who own businesses. There's people who work for great businesses. There are people who are interning for great businesses. You don't know who knows someone. So always look your best. Because when you look your best, people are tend to be more nicer to you. People tend to not want to bother you when you're in a grocery store as much. People tend to assume you got something going on because you cared enough about yourself to make yourself look nice. Take that time in the morning to fix yourself up. Men, make sure your beard is nicely trimmed. Make sure your hair is cut. Make sure you're not walking around with stains on your clothes and your clothes get wrinkled. Present yourself in a way when somebody would see you, they'd be like, he looks important or she looks like she cares about herself. I promise you that gets you further, so much further in life than not caring. I promise you. So the last thing I'm going to say, I would like you to learn, or I wish that you will take as some advice, is to always seek knowledge. When I came to Georgia, I initially just had an associate's degree, but now I have my bachelor's and I am going to pursue my master's degree. And also, I have two certificates that would be able to, that was very beneficial in my corporate world. I have a Wicklander, I have Wicklander interviewing skills. If you know about Wicklander, that's great for loss prevention and protection when you have internal suspects or internal subjects who might be committing fraud within your corporation. You can interview them and hopefully they can tell you the truth or tell you how much they stole or how much they helped, get out the company and you can help recover some of that stuff or at least get a confession. Those are those soft interview and communication skills. Also, I was able to get FEMA. Oh my gosh, let me go back and look at it for a second so I can find it for you guys. Okay, guys, I'm back. I was able to get my FEMA certificate for emergency management. So these are some things that these are certificates I sought after while in corporate to help make me the best attractive candidate on my, and I put these on my resume. So one thing I'm just saying is to always seek knowledge. If you're an IT person, I think you would want to get IT certificates, product management certificates, things that's going to make you look like you sought out knowledge for that field. Or if you're an entrepreneur, whatever you'd like to do, maybe real estate certificates, property management certificates. I know they have commercial apartment certificates you go after. So you want to seek knowledge because things are constantly changing. And you always want to remain, go back to number two, adaptable, right? So the five things that I'm going to give you that I wish I would have learned sooner when I moved to Georgia was to create a network. I wish I wasn't so antisocial in the beginning. Be adaptable. I wish I was more acceptable to change. Exchange contact information. I wish I actually used the contact information I exchanged. Always look your best. When you walk out the house, I never had too much of a problem with this, but always look your best. Men and women, I don't care. Look your best. And fifth and last but certainly not least, seek knowledge. Always seek knowledge. I promise you, when you seek out knowledge, whether that's in mentorship, you get a mentor. Whether that's in school, whether that's a hands on learning, just seek knowledge because that will always allow you to be adaptable in this world when things are constantly changing. Right? So I hope you guys are having a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day. Let 2026 be a great year for you. And I hope these tips can help you somehow because now that I'm knowing that I have them now, I wish I had them sooner. So hopefully this can help somebody because you got it sooner than I did. All right, I'm out. Deuces.